Hey guys, if you like the content in this video, hit the like button. To support the channel and the kind of tutorials I post, hit the subscribe button. Even if you don't want to be notified of new videos, subscribe to show your support. Thank you. We'll start by creating a new React app. So inside this folder, I'll open up a terminal and run the command npx create react app and we'll call it router tutorial. Once that's finished, navigate to the newly created folder and run npm install react router DOM. After completion, let's open up this folder in VS Code. Inside the src folder, head into the app.js. I'm gonna delete everything except the outermost div and also delete the logo import. I'm gonna remove the class name of this div. Let's now go ahead and import some stuff from React Router DOM, and we're gonna be needing browser router, switch, link and route. Before we begin, I'd like to mention that the code we're gonna be using is pulled from the React Router documentation. We'll wrap this entire return statement inside a browser router. The browser router is a router that uses the HTML5 history API to keep the UI in sync with the URL. Let's create an unordered list and put some links to different pages of the website. Inside the first list item, I'm gonna put a / and the text would be home. Similarly, I'll make two more links, one to / about and another to / dashboard. The link is used to provide navigation through the application. We'll create a horizontal ruler. Let's see what the application looks like so far. I'm gonna go to the terminal window I had opened earlier and run npm start. So we have three links. If I click on them, you can see that the URL changes, but we're still on the same web page. I'm gonna create three new components, one for each link. Inside the source folder, I'll make a components folder. Let's create the first component. We'll call it home.jsx. Inside the file, I'm gonna use the snippet rfc, which creates a new React functional component. For now, we'll just return an h1 inside the div that says home. Let's make the about.jsx and use the snippet rfc and return an h1 inside the div that says about. Now for the dashboard component, we will follow similar steps. We import all of these components inside the app.js. Inside the return statement below the HR, we'll start making the routes. For this, we use route path equals / and then inside it, I put the home component. Similarly, I make one route for the about and pass the about component. And finally, one for the dashboard. Let's go to the web browser. As I click on the home link, it takes us to the home page and we see that the home component shows up. If I now click on about, it takes us to the about page and the about component shows up. However, there is a problem here, that is, our home component is also rendering. This is because the route / about also partially matches the route /. To fix this problem, inside the route for the home component, we'll pass in the prop exact. This will only render the component when the route exactly matches /. If I now go back to the web browser, we see that the app works as expected. Let us now see a situation where we would have to use the switch. Let's create a component inside the components folder and name it contact. Inside, we'll just return contact as an h1 wrapped inside our div. Let's import this component into app.js, create the link and the URL we would be using would be / about / contact. If we create the route for this URL under the about, note that we're not passing in exact here. Now go to the web browser, then click on contact. We get a similar behavior where both the about component and the contact component have been rendered. If I change the order of the about and contact routes in app.js, then the rendered result also changes. I'm gonna set the order back to the original one. To avoid rendering multiple components, we can use switch. Switch renders each route exclusively. If we wrap all the routes inside a switch, then head on to the web browser, we see that only one component is rendered. If I change the order again, this time only the contact component is rendered. Switch renders the component that first matches. I'm gonna set the order back to the original one once again. It is best practice to use the exact prop whenever there are nested routes. So with the about route, I'm gonna pass in exact. The application behaves as expected. Now even if I remove the switch, nothing changes. The application still behaves the same. Exact removes partial matching. It might match more than one route if we were to use wildcards in the routes. Switch renders only the route that first matches. Alright guys, that would be it for this video. I am gonna be continuing the React Router tutorial series. Subscribe so you don't miss a video. Like this video if you found it helpful. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.